Hi, my name is Jenny. Welcome to my channel, JK Star 8th Reader. Today I'm doing my October TBR. That's right. These are the books that I want to read in the month of October, and we'll see if I actually get to them. My mood might change, and my curiosity might take me to other places in the world of literature, and so I'll tell you briefly about the books that I have in mind right now, and uh, it is for sure that I won't be able to stick to this list. I'll do my best, but I'm pretty sure that I have other books that I want to read, and I'm impatient, so I'll start reading them. The first book I have to show you in this TBR, it is Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. This is a book that I've held on to for a few years now, and finally I am making the time to read it. It is one of the books that I have by Neil Gaiman. I have a few others in my collection, and this is where I think I uh, will be getting back to the many worlds that this author has created. Neverwhere takes place partly in the subway tunnels in London, and some of the places where um, parts of the system has been somehow taken over by beings living there. I'm not sure what. And so we'll see where the story and fantasy takes the reader in this journey, and whether I'm sure there'll be thrills and chills in this book, but we'll see where the story goes. So yeah, Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. The next book I have to show you, it is The Gunslinger by Stephen King. The last book that I read by Stephen King was Misery last year, and that was an interesting read, and so I've been meaning to read more books by Stephen King, and this is the one that I have decided on, as it is one of the shorter novels in the backlist titles by Stephen King. And this is the first book in a trilogy, I believe, and I do want to read the books in this series before going on to the graphic novels. I have book 2 of this series in a graphic novel, but I have not even opened it from the plastic wrap because I have not read any of the books in the series yet. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. The Gunslinger by Stephen King. Next I have another book, and this one is Moon of the Crusted Snow by Waubgeshig Rice. So this is a book that I had in my collection, and I believe I purchased it secondhand. No, I purchased this new from the bookstore a few months back. I want to get ahead on the book releases, so I want to read this book before the sequel that will be released sometime in October. And so uh, I want to know what all the hype has been about by so many who have already read this book. So yeah, Moon of the Crusted Snow by Waubgeshig Rice. Next I have another book, and this one is The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. So I read a few books by Ruth Ware, and I find them to be intriguing. Some are more interesting than others, and I do like the debut novel by this author, which is In a Dark, Dark Wood, which is the last book that I read by this author. So I'm going ahead with reading the next book that I have on my list, and this is the one. The Woman in Cabin 10, which is a mystery that takes place on a cruise ship, I believe. So yeah. Next I have another book, and this one is The Devil Takes You Home by Gabino Iglesias. And so this is a book by an author I have not read from before. This is the debut novel by this author, and I did see the author post about this on Twitter when this book was being released, and so now I have the paperback edition, and I'll give you a sense about what the book is about. So here goes. It says, buried in debt due to his young daughter's illness, his marriage at the brink, Mario reluctantly takes a job as a hitman, surprising himself with his proclivity for violence. After tragedy destroys the life he knew, Mario agrees to one final job, hijacking a cartel's cash shipment before it reaches Mexico. I only read a few sentences, and there are a few more to go with the blurb, but it has me intrigued about the story this book tells. And so yeah, The Devil Takes You Home by Gabino Iglesias. Next, another book on my October TBR, and this one is Certain Dark Things by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. So this is a book that I've held on to for a while now. As you can see, many of the books in my TBR are backlist titles, and I been meaning to get around to reading this book by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. I'm just taking a little bit more time than I would like. This is a vampire novel that takes place in the slums of Mexico City. Here's another book, and this one is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I think I attempted to read another book by this author, and that book was The Final Girls, and I took it out from the library, held on to it, but did not get around to reading it. So this will officially be my first book that I will be reading by this author, and I thought this would be a great place to start. I'm not sure if I'll get around to reading any of the backlist titles anytime soon. So this is the one that I have. The Only One Left by Riley Sager. Next I have On Such a Full Sea by Chang-Rae. This is a book that I've also had in my collection for a while, and I enjoyed reading the another title by this author, which is called Native Speaker. And so that is about a man with a Korean background, and his life. Oh, it's about a man with a Korean background being part of the political world in New York City. And so after reading that novel, I've been meaning to getting around to reading more books by the author. So this is the one that I have to read next. On Such a Full Sea by Chang-Rae, and this is a bit of a dystopian story. Another book that I have that I would like to read in the month of October, and this one is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. So I have books 1 and 2 in this duology, and still I have not read either one. And so finally I have the mood to reading books based on Shakespeare, not Shakespearean, I mean Arthurian legends. And so this is the book that I've held on to since it was released. And finally, with the colder months, I have more, hopefully, have more time to read. And so, hopefully, I'll get around to reading this. So, Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. And finally, one more book in this TBR video. This one is Lore by Alexandra Bracken. And as you can see with the snake head, this is a book based on the myth of Medusa from ancient Greek literature. And so I read another book by Alexandra Bracken earlier in the year, and that one was Passenger, which was a journey back in time to revolutionary America. And so this is a modern day take on the myth of Medusa, and so we'll see where this book goes. So yeah, Lore by Alexandra Bracken. Okay, that's it for me for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!